Hi, welcome to Center Stage Guitar Academy. In this lesson, we're going to be learning Wish You Were Here by Pink Floyd. And it's a pretty cool song. It's based out of the key of G. And starts with this little riff. We're going to start with our second finger on the third fret of the low E string. Then we're going to do open A string with a hammer on with our first finger down on the second fret of the A string. So then we're going to hit the open D string. That's the first beginning lick of the song. Just practice that a couple times till you get that lick down. Okay, then we're going to go into an E minor 7 chord. Okay, this is a different kind of E minor chord. So we're going to play a regular E minor open chord like you normally would. Your first finger on the second fret of the A string and your second finger on the second fret of the D string. Okay, now I want you to add your third finger on the third fret of the B string. That's our flat 7 that makes an E minor 7. And then we're going to add our pinky to the third fret of the high E string. And that's just duplicating the G here. Okay, so kind of get familiar with that chord. The cool thing is we're going to switch through a couple chords, but your pinky and your third finger are always going to stay there throughout this little chord progression. Okay, so when you start the song, you can almost already have your pinky and third finger in place on the third fret. So there's our riff. Okay, that's the E minor 7. And I'm just kind of doing, I don't know exactly the strum pattern, but it's kind of what I'm doing. And you don't always have to hit the full chord. Kind of strumming the higher notes, the E, B, G string, you know, it's not a precise thing, but kind of doing down, down, up, down, down, up. Okay, so from there, just keep that chord in place. Then we're gonna pick out of that chord, we're kind of arpeggiate some of it. We're gonna hit the D string, G string, and then back to the D string. So far we have. Okay, then from there we go to a G chord. Same kind of strum pattern. And I'm leaving my pinky and third finger right there on the third fret of the high E and B string. Okay, then we do the riff again to the E minor 7. Same thing. Okay, from here, do the riff again. E minor 7. Now it changes a little bit. Now we're going to hit the D string. Just keep that E minor 7 in place. Hit the D string. Hit the D string again, but take off your second finger. So you're playing an open D note. And then do the exact same thing on the A string. Then we're going to go to an A chord. This is kind of it's not an actual A, it's an A7 suspended, or an A7 with a fourth in there. Okay, so like I said, you keep your pinky and your third finger in place. So I'm just gonna bar like I was barring an A major chord with my first finger here. So that's the chord. So coming from the E7, E minor 7, D string, open D string. So you're taking your second finger off. Then you're hitting the A string with your first finger on the second fret. Then we're going to go to that A7/4 chord. Okay, so I'll play that kind of all together, that little part. It kind of hits the open A string first. So it's kind of by itself, and then strum some of those higher strings on that A7 sus4 chord. Okay, so one more time. Okay, so that's kind of, then it repeats that, but it doesn't do the entire lick. You know how the lick starts on the G. He kind of just does the whole lick without that first note. So it's just the hammer on and the open D. And then back to the E minor 7. Same thing. Okay, so I'm going to just play through what we have up to there. Okay, now, when you get to that part, he does a little lick leading into a G chord. It's that same hammer on the second fret of the A string. So open A, hammer on the second fret with your first finger, then pick the open A string again. Then to our G chord. And a stop there. How I do that is I hit the G, and I mute it with my palm back here. Okay? So, that's the intro. And that thing just repeats. Okay, then the whole thing repeats again, okay, until we get to where the vocals come in. And then that piece, that intro, is alternated between the verse that I'm getting ready to show you. So it just goes back from the verse chord progression to this intro progression, okay? So, so we come out, as we're coming out of the second time through that intro, then we start the verse. It's C major open chord, to a D, to an A minor, to a G, then D, C, A minor, to G, stop, intro. And then the song just basically goes back and forth like that. So that's pretty much it. It's in the key of G, so we're using the E minor chord, or the E minor 7, right? Which is the which is the 6th chord of the key of G, right? 6th chord is usually minor. Okay, and then it goes to the G, which is the 1 chord. The A there is the second degree of G major, and he's playing it as an A7 sus4 chord, which typically the 2 is a minor chord. That's what makes this song kind of cool. We're kind of bending the rules a little there. And then back to the G, the 1, and then the verse is C, which is the 4th degree of G major. If you use your G major scale to find these degrees, 1, 2, 3, 4, there's C. C, D is the 5. A minor, now he's using the 2nd degree as a minor chord, which it typically is if you want to stay harmonically within the key. And then G. Okay, so those are basically all the chords. So that's Wish You Were Here by Pink Floyd. I'm going to do another lesson where I'm going to show you the guitar solo, so I encourage you to check that out. And we'll see you in that lesson.